Hi everyone, my name is Sal from Atlantic Studio, and I'm here today to teach you how to use server actions with NextJS 13 or 14. 14 was just released. Basically, what server actions are, they're a way to run code on the server only using just like a NextJS function. How it really, so for example, how it works, right? So this is right here, this file, this is a server action right here. And you can see it's just a regular function. It looks pretty simple. But what's actually happening here is that this directive up here, use server, is allowing it to run on the server specifically, even if we call it from a client component. So that's essentially what's the difference in this file here is the use server directive. We'll go over the import for server only down the line, but essentially what's happening here is very basic. We're setting up a constant here, and it's just a string. Hello, I am running on the server. We're logging the message and we're returning it. I also have a client page set up here, and you can see I use the use client directive up top. And basically what's just happening here is that we have just some text and a button over here that runs get server info. And we have get server info right here, defined right here. And you can kind of see what's going on with the connection here. So what I'm doing is we're exporting server demo, right? And we're importing it into our client component here, meaning that we can run the server action on our client component. I created a simple function here that basically just awaits the data from our server action. And then we're just using use state to set the state, set a variable to the result that is returned from our server action. And that's, I mean, it looks pretty simple. And what's happening here, right? So you can see the button here, and you can see my result. So I'm basically pulling my state and putting it into this little paragraph here so we can see it. What's actually happening, if we switch over to the demo here, I refresh it, and you can see, so result is nothing, no result yet. You got a little explanation here. We're going to click it. Hello there, I am running on the server. So essentially what happened here is that it ran on the server. None of this code ran on the client. And I can even show you, go into the console here. Nothing, there's no console logs or anything happening here on the client. Basically what's happening is you click it, and the server action is generating a post request automatically for you from the server, just basically from importing and using that use server directive at the top. And I'll show you what I mean. So when we go here and we look into the server log, you can actually see, hello, I am running on the server right here. If we go back in here, you can see the use server here. And that's basically it. You know, it's very simple. It's just running whatever code is in this file on the server only and returning it back to the client. Now, let's just say we were to accidentally leave out use server here, right? And now I'm going to refresh the page, go back. We're going to see it. We're going to still see that we have the result here, right? But you can see in the log that this clearly ran on the user's device. It ran on the client. And that is because we forgot the use server directive. So you're not going to want to forget that. And for extra safety, you're going to want to import the server only package. I installed it using npm. And basically, let's just say forgot use server, error right here. We already have an error. You're importing a component that needs server only. This only works in a server component, but one of its parents is marked as use client. And the reason why it's saying that is because when we import it into here, this automatically assumes it's on the client because we're importing. It's inheriting from this page that it's on the client. And by having this package server only here, it's preventing that from happening because it knows server only, preventing leaks from occurring. So when you have this set up properly with the use server and the server only for the safety, you can run, you can run very user sensitive data in this because it's running only on the server. It's essentially the same as an API route. And it's I would say personally, I find it to be a lot easier to use than an API route to set up because it's just basically writing a function and putting use server at the top. It's very simple. That being said, it's very important to be mindful of where you're using this and that you have the correct directives and server only. Because if we do this like I did earlier, and I go and I run the code, you can see it's running on the client. So if we had any sensitive information, anything that we don't want the client to know, well, they can find out because it is running on the client when we forget to put these in. So basically, server actions are extremely useful. They can make it easy to do things on the server and trigger them from the client, from a button, any client-side code that the server can't run. And yeah, I mean, it's simple and easy to use. I hope you found this tutorial useful. And I'd like any feedback regarding it. And if you have anything else that you want to learn, let me know. I'll make a video on it. Thank you.